Hello, everybody. Vicky here. This is a Christmas message. I didn't get it wrong in the title. I just am letting my video that I had ready to put up to. Well, I had actually filmed it 2 weeks ago, but it's only now that I'm getting up and getting about again. Funny thing happened along the road for Graham and I. We've, after all this time and the 6 booster shots, we got COVID. Now, the boosters don't stop you from getting COVID, but I thank God that somebody manufactured the vaccines, and that I'm blessed enough to live in a country where we do get the vaccines as needed. Graham had 3 or 4 days where he just wasn't feeling terribly well at all. I went on a few extra days, and then I've gone to a bacterial infection. So it'll just take me a little bit longer to get over it. But we're headed in the right direction. We're fine. We're doing good. Happened, like I said, 2 weeks ago. So the run into Christmas, with all my little things in my head that I thought that, I was going to get done, and I'd have the videos up, and I'd do this and I'd do that, and I don't know what else I reckoned I was going to do. The best thing about lists is they aren't actually forcing you to do everything that's on that list. The only one that can force you to run yourself ragged and just be really sad because you can't celebrate because you're so sad and tired. A list is just some words on a piece of paper. Do the main things, do the things that you know you have to do, like get food in, sort of sort out what you're going to be eating over the Christmas week so that you can stay at home and have a rest, and yeah, plan a little bit ahead. That's the type of thing that we do now. We have family all across Australia and the other side of the world, so we don't tend to have family Christmases, but we have people in our lives that we consider to be family, and we will have the great pleasure of spending Christmas Day with them, and then we're going to have a visitor with us for a little while, so we're quite excited about that as well. So it's Christmas, hey? How's everybody going? The Advent season. Now, I saw a beautiful picture. It was a sad picture of a likeness, I guess, of Jesus' face. And underneath it, it said, I didn't ask for all of this. So, what consumerism has turned Christmas into is not the intention of it originally. I Graham and I have got to the stage now when we buy gifts, we're buying like experiences, a trip to the theatre or tickets for something to go and see, because so many of us have got so much. And the kids that get Christmas presents that their parents can afford, they also have so much as well. So I think that the way we're thinking is we want for nothing, and the people that we buy for pretty much are the same. So we've gone to that type of thing. Sort of like started saying, um, make memories instead of dust, because when you go somewhere, you get a little trinket, or I don't know, a lot of people pick up something, a souvenir, to say we were there. And then when we come home and start living our life again, it gets sort of like put in the bottom drawer or the back of the cabinet somewhere, and it gathers dust. Whereas the money that was spent on those bits and bobs possibly could have added up to, like when we were in Rome, we went for a drive around the city streets in a horse-drawn carriage. So that was an experience, and it was our gift to each other for our birthday, I think it was, at the time. So rather than be buying stuff to have to try and figure out how to get home, we enjoyed that together. So look for those sorts of things if you can, particularly if you're buying for somebody is very notoriously difficult. that if they're not into, like Graham and I are into live theatre, we love going to the theatre and we do it a lot. But you might have somebody who loves sport. You buy them a game, a ticket for a game when it's going to be on near the one you're buying a present for, and things like that. Just to try. Well, that's what we're doing. We're trying to look just a little bit at it, just a little bit differently. Do you know that as we lead up to Christmas, and we had it tonight. We had dinner and we went to the opera in at QPAC, and finding a park in one of the car parks was just horrendous. So as we're all cycling around like buzzards, ready to jump on somebody, there's really no point in getting upset about it. It is what it is. People are just doing exactly the same thing you're doing, trying to find a park, and the angrier you get, or the more frustrated, or the more tired you get while you're driving, it does reflect in your driving and how you look in your car and the amount of patience that you've got. It does reflect. So if you can't get a car park, there will be one that will come up eventually. You might have to walk a little bit further, but sooner or later you will get one. So just hang in there, and let's just all try and stay a little bit calm, because we're all in the same boat, aren't we? And I think because of the way we're set up now, we miss the important things, like little things that we can do. If you're standing in a line, or you're in a lift, or you're going up an escalator, and you've got somebody that's looking a little bit sad or lost, it doesn't even matter what they look like, just say hello. Just say hello, how you going? That's it. That's all you have to do. Smile, and then if you say that to a person that then wants to have a little chat with you, just listen to them for a couple of minutes. It's all it takes. To just empty your head of your list that you've got. It's all on a piece of paper. Just take a breath, and just enjoy listening to a stranger talk for a minute or two, and then everybody's off on their merry way. Now, that stranger that you stop and talk to, you might actually be the only person that 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 spoke to them today, that gave them a chance to say hello. Christmas for everybody isn't family. It's a very sad time for a lot of people, and I think we lose sight of that because we get so engrossed in the busyness of it all. We miss those little important things that really matter. Now, whether or not, like I've always been a cook and I make plum puddings with, in the cloth and all that sort of thing. Well, guess what? Graham bought one this year, and he bought a fruit cake for a Christmas cake. Um, and that's really quite embarrassing for me to admit that, being the chief cook and bottle washer. But he's not going to miss out. I'm sure it's going to taste very nice by the time he puts his custard and his cream on it the way he likes it. I don't think he's going to remember in a week or so's time that he had to buy that and I didn't make it. There's always a way around things that we do. And I think too, we get into that cycle of, well, this is what happened every year, last year, the year before, this is what we always do. Sometimes it's a good idea just to get out of that mindset and go, well, it's not actually really a tradition that everybody's going to remember. Like being in a good mood and going to the park in the afternoon, or have a swim in your pool out the backyard, and actually join in with the family because you're not so tired after trying to make everything perfect. To pick what needs to be done, and ask for help. Ask everybody in the family for them to do something that's age appropriate for them. And if they don't do it, well, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other things. And if somebody misses it, it's like, well, too bad. It couldn't have got done. And just relax, let go, and let people help you before you just become so exhausted and you just can't get off that hamster wheel of I have to do everything or otherwise it won't get done. I can promise you Christmas is going to come and go, and it's not going to care one iota whether or not you ticked everything off your to-do list or not. It really isn't going to make any difference. Just be like me here. I'm just fiddling around playing with what's in the basket. It's Christmas time, and probably as a creative, I should be doing Christmas stuff, but I don't tend to be a big holiday creator. It's like it's an awful lot of resources and an awful lot of energy goes into something that's just going to be brought out once a year. I I prefer to get lost in my baskets of nonsense, known of all sorts of different paper, like this little ephemera holder that I'm doing now. It's in between trying to get my glue to work. That is, by the look of it, and like this is such a simple little thing to do, and it's made from packaging, and bits and bobs that were in this basket. So you don't need much. It'd make a lovely little gift for you to send to a fellow creative, a little bit of happy mail. It wouldn't cost that much to post, and yeah, that'd bring a smile on somebody's face. I think if we can have the giving spirit all year, and I don't mean you have to be doing and giving every day of the year, but just sort of like set maybe you're going to do half a dozen happy mails for somebody, or different people. Six happy mails I'm going to send out to six different people, and over a period of the year, that will give six people a great deal of joy and make them feel like they belong. And at the end of the day, as humans, the most important thing that I believe is our need to belong. So any little special thing that you do, it's little things that matter. I think we get caught up in trying to do the great big things, and really it's the little things that count. So I don't know whether I'm lecturing you or whether or not I'm just gently trying to tell you how I feel about it all. And the other thing too is if you give experiences, if like with your neighbour, give him an envelope with 6 vouchers to mow his lawn if you've got an older couple living next door. Um, just things like that, and it makes people feel like they belong and they are really thought of, and then you don't have to spend the first 6 months trying to pay off Christmas, which does tend to happen alarmingly still these days, and vouchers in an envelope for something like that would just be the bee's knees for some people who are struggling to be able to do it and maybe can't afford to have somebody come in and do it for them. So that's an example. Or decide that you're going to bake a cake, you're going to bake yourself a Christmas cake. Do two while you're at it, and then the other one can be for an older person or somebody who can't bake for themselves for whatever reason. They're the things I believe that really matter. That's how I kind of look at things anyway. Oh, I've just gone off in a little bit of a fairyland. So I'm just putting an eyelet in, and a whale. I put a whale tail tab on there just to put the enclosure there. I'm going to be using a little bit of seam binding, and by anchoring it to that tab, it means that when you open it, you don't have to look around and try and see where you put it down to close it up again. And that sounds a bit silly, but you'd be surprised. If you saw my desk at the moment, my room in here, you'd know why a little bit of seam binding would go missing very easily and very quickly. It looks like a bomb has gone off in here, and I'm actually getting to the stage where I'm just going to have to learn to embrace it. Like the rest of the house and my brain, and with Graham, we're both very tidy and we don't have a lot of clutter in our house. Well, with me being clumsy, we have to keep everything fairly um, simple and easy for me to get around without me having to sort of like sidestep through a nesting coffee table thing, or I don't know, chairs. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But we just have it very streamlined, and there's really no ornaments around. And but his shop and his workshop and my room, our creative spaces, they are just unbelievably messy. Probably because we've got too much stuff. I'd say that's got something to do with it, but don't tell anybody I admitted that. Now I'm just going through using some 49 and Market rub-ons, the bits and pieces that are sort of like left that you don't never get around to using. Well, I'm learning how to get them out and using them, and it's really coming up quite pretty. Now I've stuck pretty much to. I've done a pretty good job of sticking to what I wanted to do this year. Ill health, unfortunately, does make me a little bit. I don't know. Just I don't get my videos out as quickly or as in a routine. I guess is what I'm saying. I haven't been able to establish a routine and maintain it, but that's okay because I do what I can do when I can do it. The one thing that I didn't end up doing was my take on 100 makes. Now the reason why I didn't get that done is because once I start my 100 makes, I'm not allowed to, well, I'm allowed to buy as much as I want to. You can get whatever you want to, but when you make one of your items for 100 makes, you're not allowed to use anything that you've bought after you started. Well, the honest truth is, I bought, um, well, quite a few different things, and I couldn't remember what was new and what was old, and I didn't know what to count. So I have decided to be a bit of a grown up and back off on buying anything because seriously, it's just beyond a joke. But anyway, enough about that. I think we're getting near the end of the video. So these are just tags. They're the shaving cream marbling, and then there's just that's napkin. There's a variety of different things there. So they were all in the basket. Here's another random bunch of tags and whatnot. I don't know what it is with me and my tags. I don't know. I think I'm up to 575 of them. Everywhere I look, there's a tag. So I'd sewn around those, and I'm thinking that I might have been having a bad night, and I've just picked some stuff up out of the scrap basket to play with. That tends to be my go-to when I can't sleep. And then I've popped them in the basket to go back to, and obviously I've gone off to do something else. So I'm trying to keep the tags pretty plain so that they will go into journals that I'm making, or whoever might buy some of them. And I'm just going around with gold with this as well, just to highlight it a little bit. This is the other thing I had a lot of is this policy envelopes, and obviously I got busy doing something else, and I think I've already done about half a dozen policy envelope closures on what was at the front of the basket. Obviously I'm going to come across a few that I missed, so I'm just cutting out the discs now, and that's going to be the closures for that. I was lucky enough I had that pad of paper and it matched, so I was able to use the same paper. So I've just put a holes in those, and I've put the brads in them to hold them down. And on the back of them, I always put a little round disc of paper over the inside so things don't foul up on them. I'm desperately trying to remember where the end of this video is. I've put it together. There's probably 3 different videos that I've joined to one, and this is a Roxy Creation fussy cut, floral fussy cuts. I was having a bit of trouble with my printer, and I wasn't sure about the colour, so I've got sheets and sheets and sheets of Roxy Creations fussy cut birds and butterflies and floral, obviously that's what this is, and I'm just giving it a little bit of an ink up. So I'm being really, really good because I'm actually fussy cutting things out and using them. This is the new thing. I do confess I had one more box come yesterday. I'm going to be starting something very new in the new year, and I just need to get a few supplies for that. And then I've kind of promised the right side of the brain that I've got enough for a little while, and we might just ease up and I'll try and catch up, because I put everything that I had in about 25, 26 baskets into plastic bags to put them in the cupboard to store them, only now to have half a dozen baskets starting that I've filled again already. So I decided that there's just going to have to be an acceptance that this is who I am, and just keep ploughing on. But I think it's time maybe to stop buying quite so much. And I think if I had any advice for a new person starting out, is limit yourself to what you get. Decide what you'd like to do. Get the supplies in for that, and if you like it, you can always get more things that you think you might like to do. Maybe buy one extra thing to have there to do when you finish the first, but stop there. And a lot of what I do, which is really crazy, is that I probably play around and spend more time with my scraps than I do anything else. So here I've got, so this is the Roxy Creations bird fussy cut. Now I'm thinking I really am now getting to the end of the video, so I'll take this moment to say, be kind to you, please, and please be kind to the person standing next to you. The only way we're going to make it through this life with any form of any type of contentment and ease is for us to be kind to each other. Well, that's about it from me now, definitely. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you have a safe and blessed time with the people you choose to be with. Keep safe, do all those sorts of things, and I will catch you in the new year. Bye.